our helicopter lifted off the ground at the break of dawn, cutting through a thin veil of mist that blanketed the southern Italian grasslands. The pale morning light drifted across low shrubs, where wild boars silently roamed, leaving behind winding trails of hoofprints. Inside the cramped cabin, the engine's roar pounded against our chests. Neither John nor I spoke a word. Only the sharp clicks of rounds being chambered broke the silence. Focus was absolute. Our hunt for the day had begun. On the very first scouting run, we spotted a pack of jet black boars lumbering along the forest's edge. Startled by the engine's thunder overhead, they scattered in chaos, leaving a tangled mess of tracks on the grass below. John raised his rifle calmly. Each shot he fired found its mark with absolute precision. My hands gripped the controls, feeling every vibration as the helicopter shuddered with each sharp burst from his weapon. By the time the sun rose higher, we had found another massive herd. They scattered in all directions, weaving unpredictably, making pursuit nearly impossible. I kept the helicopter at just the right altitude, giving John the perfect angle. John squeezed the trigger with composure, his bullets slicing through the air before slamming into the targets. I adjusted in sync with his every move, our teamwork flowing like a silent dance. One by one, the destructive beasts collapsed under his steady aim. Relief washed over us. We knew the farmer's fields were a little safer now. The golden blaze of the afternoon sun stretched across the grasslands, adding yet another challenge to our hunt. From above, we spotted two stragglers wandering near the forest's edge. John wasted no time. He steadied his rifle, eyes locked onto the targets. Each bullet flew true, decisive and unerring. Both boars fell quickly, and for a moment I felt as though the farmer's entire harvest had been spared in that single instant. Had we not intercepted them, the losses would have been devastating, months of labor destroyed overnight. What do you think of our seamless teamwork? Share your thoughts in the comments below. The Italian sun bore down mercilessly in the late afternoon, its blazing rays scorching the golden fields. From the helicopter, the shimmering air made aiming unreliable. Realizing conditions had turned against us, John and I made a swift decision: land the aircraft and continue the hunt on foot across the grasslands. As we followed a narrow trail cutting through the tall grass, a guttural growl suddenly erupted from a nearby thicket. My rifle came up instinctively, sight locked on the flicker of movement through the swaying grass. I squeezed the trigger slowly, one sharp crack, one clean shot. The bullet struck true, and the beast collapsed instantly. As the sun dipped westward, painting the fields in golden hues, we spotted a lone boar resting lazily, completely unaware of our presence. I steadied myself, rifle raised, eyes locked on the beast. With one smooth motion, I pulled the trigger. The shot rang out, precise, decisive. The boar froze, then fell without a sound. Clean, efficient, without disturbing the tranquility of the land. What do you think of the way I handled this? Share your thoughts below. With spirits high, our team decided to push on into night. Our targets remained the same, the massive, dark figures that lurked in the fields, sabotaging the farmers' crops. Then a sudden rustle in the brush. A boar burst out, lightning fast. My heart nearly stopped. But John's reflexes were razor sharp. Without hesitation, he moved like a seasoned hunter, his bullets cutting through the chaos with pinpoint accuracy. The beast collapsed before it could inflict any more damage. We laughed in triumph, satisfied with the day's success. As we packed up and headed back to the village, we felt like heroes of the harvest. Today's hunt closed with tense encounters, flawless teamwork, and the kind of precision only born from experience and responsibility. Every bullet counted, every decision mattered. Night falls, and the cold wind whistles across the farmlands of the American South. In that silence, farmers still live in constant fear, because at any moment, wild boars could strike. With just one herd passing through, an entire cornfield or sweet potato patch can be torn apart, leaving devastation behind. From that fear, we set out on this journey, not only armed with weapons and experience, but also with modern technology to track and record our encounters with nature's beasts. Will we return with trophies in hand, or be defeated by our relentless foes? Join us now as the hunt begins. This hunt began deep within a vast swamp. The moonlight shimmered on the water surface, reflecting off sticky mud. The air was damp and suffocating, but it promised a dramatic confrontation. We moved silently along the bank, scanning the opposite side of the swamp. Beneath the thick canopy, a herd of wild boars was digging furiously into the ground, as if searching for something. I quickly raised my rifle, locking on the target. Bang! The shot echoed through the swamp. A boar was hit, collapsing into the mud, while the rest scattered in panic, each fleeing in a different direction. We didn't give up. Determined, we followed the tracks left in the soft ground. Suddenly, the sharp, urgent barking of hounds erupted, guiding us straight toward the target. There was, hidden in the dense brush near the swamp, a massive wild boar was trying to stay concealed. No hesitation, I tightened my grip, aimed carefully, and pulled the trigger. A clean, decisive hit dropped the beast right where it stood, ending the tense pursuit and restoring peace to the land. Elsewhere in the swamp, one of my teammates was also searching patiently. Suddenly, right in front of him, a lone boar appeared, unlucky enough to wander into perfect range. He wasted no time. The decisive shot sealed victory for us in the swamp. Once again, the mission of protecting crops and this land was reinforced with determination and strength. Our team quickly spread out, setting up ambush positions around the field. Suddenly, the brush beside us shook violently. A massive wild boar burst out, sprinting like an arrow tearing through the wind. I raised my rifle and fired. Bang! The beast staggered, slid across the grass, and collapsed motionless. No luck for it this time. What do you think? Was that final shot impressive enough? Let us know. We pushed deeper into the fields. Suddenly, a massive shadow charged straight at me, its glowing red eyes locked on mine, ready to strike. No time to hesitate. I lifted my rifle and fired in a split second. Its heavy body collapsed just a few steps away, leaving only a deadly stillness. Exhausted, our team began heading back, ready to end the journey. But suddenly, a lone boar darted across the path ahead, desperate for a chance to escape. Not missing the opportunity, my teammate instantly raised his rifle and fired. The bullet screamed through the air and struck true. The dark giant dropped in an instant. The hunt across the fields closed with countless breathtaking and dramatic moments. From the swamp's suffocating wetlands to the vast open fields, every shot was a blend of skill, patience, and teamwork. Everything took place within the boundaries of the law to protect crops and restore balance to nature, supported wholeheartedly by the local community who helped us complete this mission. forests of East Texas, where pure white snow blankets every thorny branch, transform the wild land into a frozen labyrinth shrouded in bone-chilling cold. Endless blizzards pile thick ice upon the ground, erasing all traces, while howling winds sweep through the thickets, making the air tremble with menace. Wild boars roam through the frozen earth and leaving behind scarred snowy trails as a ruthless challenge. Join us as we embark on this thrilling hunt. The bone-chilling cold of East Texas forest bites through every inch of skin, where white snow blankets the thorny bushes, turning each breath into a misty cloud in the freezing air. The wind howls through the treetops like the screams of death, while the ice beneath my feet cracks threateningly, ready to swallow every step. With a cold hunting rifle in hand, I silently push through the snowy maze, tracking the trails of those monstrous beasts. Suddenly, from the darkness of the deep forest, a pack of wild boars, vicious beasts with tusks as sharp as blades, burst through the snow, churning it up like a raging storm. Their roars echoed through the woods, as if challenging nature itself. I raised my rifle and took precise aim at the savage horde. The first shot tore through the forest, striking down the lead boar. But the distance was considerable, and the following rounds missed, giving the others a chance to flee. They weaved through the trees, vanishing into the blinding snow. The barrel still hot in my hands, I knew this battle was far from over. Join us as we continue the hunt for the remaining beasts. In a place where white snow blanketed the thorny bushes, the hunting dogs tracked the prints left on the snowy ground. Soon after, they caught the target's scent and barked loudly to signal its location. The moment I saw the boar darting between tree trunks, I quickly raised my rifle. Eyes locked on its path through the chaotic forest. A single shot tore through the air, and the boar dropped instantly. In the forests of East Texas, a thick layer of snow blanketed the dense canopy, turning each step into a slippery challenge and making movement anything but easy. My binoculars became an invaluable ally, allowing me to scan every hidden corner within the thorny brush. Suddenly, a herd of wild boars burst through the trees. I raised my rifle. One precise shot brought down the boar in middle. Without pause, I took aim again and managed to shoot two more. Each one collapsed onto the frozen ground, while the rest of the herd vanished into the icy mist. In another corner of the East Texas forest, my teammate fired a shot that sliced through the air just as a wild boar casually wandered into view. The beast collapsed instantly. There was no chance of escape. Snow blanketed the thorny thickets, while the hound's fierce barks tore through the frozen air. The wild boars crashed through the dense brush, trying to escape, but unknowingly charged straight toward me. My hunting rifle was ready, and my eyes locked onto their movement. The first shot rang out, but unfortunately missed, only sending them into a frenzy. Without hesitation, I adjusted my aim and pulled the trigger again. The second shot echoed through the forest, and the last boar in the group dropped, just as I had hoped. We didn't give up. We continued tracking the last remaining boars. As soon as we got close, I quickly aimed my rifle, finger ready on the trigger. Then bang! One final shot took down a wild boar. The brutal hunt in the snowy forests of East Texas had come to an end. Thank you for joining us in this icy showdown against these savage beasts. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay with us for more intense hunts ahead. Since I was a boy, I grew up to the sound of gunfire and the scent of gunpowder drifting through ancient oak groves. This place isn't just a picturesque landscape, it's a sacred ground for wild boars, creatures both cunning and ferocious. Today is a special day. It's the day of the biggest hunt of the year, bringing together more than 20 hunters from across central Italy. We gathered early in the morning at the edge of Monte Amiata Forest with our pack of hunting dogs. I led a three-man team into the western part of the woods. Every step was a safety check. Gun loaded, bullets tucked into the leather pocket of my coat, eyes watching every branch that moved slightly. The hunting dogs picked up a scent and rushed into the trees. A loud noise erupted ahead, and I signaled for readiness. Suddenly, a massive wild boar charged out from the forest. I could only react instinctively. The gunshot rang out, the boar was hit and collapsed to the ground. Before we had time to celebrate, several more wild boars appeared. We kept firing. One of them, weighing over 100 kilograms, dropped to the ground. "Oh my God," Davide exclaimed as he witnessed the unbelievable scene before us. Luca quickly signaled to open fire, and I unloaded my rounds continuously. Some of the wild boars went down. We signaled the other hunting teams and began tracking the trail of this massive herd of wild boars. sunlight began to pierce through the damp canopy, we heard a strong rustling sound from the bushes ahead. Luca signaled us to stop. A wild boar emerged from the undergrowth. Perhaps sensing the danger, it bolted at full speed. It opened fire. Although the boar was hit, it still managed to flee into the forest. About 100 meters away, we found it was a fully grown wild boar. After marking the location of the boar, we continued our ambush at the spot. Suddenly, we heard the sound of hurried footsteps coming from the east. As we turned, a wild boar appeared. It burst out from the bushes and was quickly taken down by a single shot. Wow, a precise shot eliminated the boar instantly. But we didn't stop there. We decided to go deeper into the forest in search of it. The forest was not as peaceful as it looked. Some areas were blocked by fallen trees. But what caught our attention were the massive footprints deeply pressed into the soil discovered by Luca. We decided to follow the trail. The closer we got to where the wild boars were active, the more signs we found of the ground being dug up by them. After about 30 minutes of searching, we saw a large-sized wild boar. We were determined not to let this one escape. Everyone held their guns tightly and kept a close watch on what lay ahead. A loud shot rang out. The wild boar fell instantly. It seemed that today's hunt was going smoothly, as we had managed to bring down these wild boars with ease. By the afternoon, we moved to the forest's edge to prepare for gathering our trophies and heading home. There, one more wild boar had been taken down. This would be the last boar we hunted. The wild boars we harvest are usually distributed to families in the village or delivered to local processing facilities. In general, we make use of them, and wild boar meat is very delicious if you know how to prepare it properly. That's the end of today's video. What did you think of today's hunt? Leave us lots of comments below so we can hear from you. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support the channel.